And he was in Washington, what was that, yesterday? And people got on him. And he said, there's no way. He says, no way, shape, or form am I going to put a moratorium on gas drilling. He says,
he's going to get a job.
Like New York has. New York has put a moratorium on that. Because one of these days we're going to be buying our drinking water from New York.
They've been watching us really closely, and that's why they did that. They don't have as much stake in the whole Marcellus drilling, though. They don't have nearly the the square miles of.
But it's in a location where it affects the watershed for
New York City,
the whole eastern part. Well, even Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, but they're if they were to drill their Marcellus Shale in New York, it would directly affect the New York City drinking supply.
Oh,
yeah, that's a lot of people.
They know this.
Yeah, I guess we're not a lot of people out here, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
There's what, 15 houses here on this little country road?
Right.
If that.
They don't care.
What I always say, I don't know how we won the Civil War. Because these people are coming up from Texas, Arizona, and they completely snookered these people up here.
The South will rise again, right?
Oh, they're doing it every day. Down in Texas, we talked to a mayor down in Texas. You may have known of him, Mr. He come up here.
Yeah. Well, no, what's his?
That someone was a football player.
No. He's a mayor of Texas.
Okay.
And they completely destroyed the town.
I have
property values have went down 66%.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys. You said same story everywhere. Everybody's dealing with the gas companies. Have there been any environmental incidences? Do you know of any stories? Any people that have been affected? Their well water was ruined or anything like that?
Or drinking water. And everybody in Washington County. I have a letter down there.
Are you guys on well here?
John
I have a well.
You're not.
Plus we have city water.
Yeah.
They just put city water in.
Oh, that's not way out here, but that's a pretty good distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's up with Washington's drinking water?
It's polluted.
Wow.
It's polluted enough that American Water sent in their bill a notification.
That's the water supply here?
And the DEP has set up monitoring stations along the Mon River to pick up the pollution, and so they can alert.
Yeah.
And
by the time it's got to the Mon River, though, it's way past your house.
This is where we suck our city water from.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is where American Water sucks the water from the river, and
so they sent a notice in the mail to everybody saying
with their bill,
saying don't drink with the bill.
With the bill in a flyer.
What did it say? Don't drink the water, or drink at your own risk.
If you have a, I still got it down the house because I kept it because I switched over to my well. I went off of the city water and switched over to my well, and it was like 4 months. I noticed the water guy out there, and he was looking. And so I walked out the house and I says, you're not going to shut that water off, are you?
Well, I wouldn't put this on the internet.
I'm glad you said.
And he says, no. He says, but you're not using any water. Is there a reason? And I told him about that alert.
Yeah. So you switched back.
So I'm on my well. I've been on my well for like.
Well, it's not illegal to go cut off the water, is it?
Pardon me?
Yeah, because you have to use like so many gallons.
Well, it costs me $13 a month
to still have a hookup.
Meter up. But it costs $35 if they turn it off and you have it turned back on.
Yeah.
And that was when I put all the water system in up through here. So it's probably up now too. It's probably say $40 down.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to add? Maybe some advice to anybody that was listening to this on how to deal with them, how to deal with the gas companies, what to expect, kind of things.
Do some research before you sign the name on that lease, because once you sign your name on that lease, you cannot get out of that lease. It is structured in a way that you cannot get out of the lease. And when they tell you it is a 5-year lease, that is a fallacy. They can keep rolling it over for 99 years and with no problem.
Yeah.
and that property belongs to them to do with what they want for 99 years. And they can cancel the lease on their end anytime they want to. The only thing they got to do is call you on the telephone and you're canceled. And you lose all legal rights. And one more thing, when you sign a gas lease, you are responsible. If they put the well, say they put the well over here, and there's 10 people in this unit over here, and one of the well people gets hurt, crippled, or maimed, you are responsible. The gas company does not assume liability for their employees.
On your land?
That's right.
You have to have
That's
it written
right.
in your lease.
You have to be indemnified.
Indemnified.
And the only thing the indemnification clause does for you is it will afford you, from the gas company, attorney to represent you in court. So say in this unit there are 10 members, and the well operator that was drilling a well got hurt, and he went to court and he sued because he'll no longer be able to work anymore. And the court awarded him $1 million, and there's 10 people in the unit. All 10 people would have to come up with $100,000 apiece.
Yeah.
People do not realize the liability, the responsibility that goes along with this lease. It's not just dollars in your hand and, you know, well,
Paradise.
yeah.
It's not just dollar bills shooting out of the ground.
Right, but that's what they think.
It's not what it's advertised to be.
Mm-hmm.
And also, maybe this is far-fetched, but the stockholders in these companies, Chesapeake, Range, they're India, China, Japan, France. You tell me what happens if there's another Great Depression. Guess who owns your property? Guess who owns what's under your property? Some man in India, some man in China. Mm-hmm. Then what? It's no longer yours. It belongs to another country.
Mm-hmm. Or a bunch of countries at one time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just flabbergasted. I don't understand.
There was a drilling outfit going up past here. They also have black
Canada.
trucks. Alberta, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the pipeline goes to.
The one they wanted to run through here? Is there one?
The main pipeline that's going through Buffalo Township, which they said they were going to use eminent domain to get off the people because they didn't want to give up their rights. It goes from a little town in West Virginia all the way up through western Pennsylvania into Ohio. I think it goes up through Michigan and up into Canada. So you tell me, why are we shipping our gas to Canada?
Well, yeah, how's this really making us more
it's not for us.
Energy
this gas
dependent.
Isn't for us.
Well, I got the map down there. They had it in the newspaper. The pipeline coming across, it's going down to Ryerson State Park, down below where, Duke Lake. What do they call that?
Down in West Virginia.
No, Pennsylvania, right down here. Console coal they mined under, and they cracked the breastwork of the dam, and and also at the same time they longwalled under, and the ground dropped, and it broke a bunch of big transmission lines. Texas Gas, I believe that is down there. There's a transmission
spewing gas
station down there, and that's where this pipeline is going, and then it just goes from there. They can transport it most anywhere. But it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
We're in for it.
It's a nightmare. And that meeting last night was advertised wrong.
Oh, and then all three of our supervisors have leases and our solicitor. But everyone brought up arguments why it's a conflict of interest, and the solicitor said absolutely not. In no way is it a conflict of interest.
He said because if everybody on the board is conflicted, there is no confliction.
Is that what they said? They said we're all unanimous, so we're not conflicting with anybody else.
I guess it's the law. You know, if everybody there has a gas lease, there's no...
That has nothing to do with objectivity. That has nothing to do with it. Well, I guess that's all the questions I have. There's nothing else y'all want to add. We'll just wrap it up. Thank y'all very much.
Oh, well, okay. I've got a story for you. But when we were at the EPA hearing, a lot of industry people were sitting behind us, and there was a woman from Ohio, and she was saying how horrible her life has been since she signed this lease. And she said in front of, there were whatever, 1,000 people there, she said, I don't know what else to do but go home and shoot myself. And do you know what an industry woman sitting behind us said? Go home and do it. And everyone sitting near us heard her say it. I know who she is for fear of, you know,
retribution.
Right. I can't say her name, but that is what those people, that is a fine example of how those people feel.
Yeah.
And they all looked at her like, what did you say? And she was confronted about it, and she's like, oh, that was just awful. I can't believe I said that. And then a little bit later she said, that was just poor timing. I was talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that about my worst enemy. If my worst enemy was having problems like that, I mean, that's just...
Well, at that meeting, there was, they estimated over 1,000 people.
Last night.
No, at the EPA hearings.
At this meeting.
At the EPA meeting.
Yeah.
And they had it down at South Point.
No.
Off of 79.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a slot that you could get a 2-minute section to speak.
Let you speak.
Okay. There was approximately 120 people that gave their 2-minute presentation, and out of the 120 some people, there were only 4 people that had praise for the gas company.
Yeah.
The rest of them all had bad experiences, and experiences that they're having trouble living with. So everybody can't be wrong.
Right.
Out of 125 people, 120 of them said they had problems, and they were from different areas.
Right.
I mean, they weren't
Located in one.
Yeah, they weren't concentrated in one area. They were from different parts of Pennsylvania, and I think there was even a few of them that come from clear up by New York.
Yeah, there were,
Down.
And that lady from Ohio, they were from...
New York, like I said, New York's paying close attention to what's going on here.
Oh, yeah, well, they put a moratorium on. And see, they had I think it was last week, they are going to have a meeting with the EPA up there.
Yeah.
And so you had to register with them to go to the meeting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they gave you a number on your email, and so I had Jody did me an email because I don't have a computer.
Okay.
My computer is a pen and pencil.
Right.
And when the New York people, the EPA, put out notice that they was going to have a meeting, they had to cancel the building where they were at because they had over 8,000 applicants applied to come to that meeting.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to run a football field and
stadium,
to get
right.
these people in there.
Right. All right, well, I think we'll end on that. Thank you, John, and Jody left us to get us some directions, but thanks a lot.